Hey there everybody, welcome back to Tacos Virtual Mode here for this midweek devotion as we are in the season of Advent for the church. And like last week how we talked about Advent is all about waiting, today we're going to kind of get into what that means for us. So stay tuned and stick around to see what today's about. Here we go! Alright friends, so to begin today I want to start with a question. And the question is, what is the longest you've had to wait for something? So I'm sure some of you have the same kind of memories that I do about Christmas Eve night and wanting to get to bed and shut your eyes tight so that you can get to sleep for Christmas Day. And if those of you who don't celebrate Christmas and have other things that you celebrate, I'm sure there are the same kind of emotions around certain holidays or family gatherings or things like that. And what you did is you sat there waiting, you counted your sheep, and you waited until you fell asleep. The key thing being you're waiting for this anticipation of an event. You see, waiting is so difficult. And we live in a time where we are always growing to want things faster. We have things at our fingertips. We have high-speed internet. We have easy download speeds. We have things right at our fingertips all the time. Yet God finds a way to make us wait. And waiting and faith go hand in hand. And think about the year 2020 and all the things that we've had to wait for. We want to get back to normal life. We're waiting to get there someday. We're waiting on the progress of a COVID-19 vaccine. We're waiting for our family members and friends to get back to their normal life and normal jobs. And we're waiting for things like school to go back to what they were like before COVID-19. Waiting is the embodiment of faith in God. It's written in Hebrews chapter 11 verses 13 that we are reminded that faith involves trust in God's promises, even if the promises of God are not fulfilled until we are gone. The writer says, "These all died in faith without having received the promises, but they saw them from a distance." Advent is about faith, and Advent is about waiting. What are you waiting on God for this year is a question that I would like to ask you. What are you waiting on God for this year? So take some time to think and reflect on the fact that God's timing is quite different from our timing, as I'm sure you can imagine over the course of this crazy year. The story of Jesus' birth gives us assurance and joy because even though the waiting lingered on for decades, God broke through at the right time for God's people. So now the next question I ask you is, are you struggling with a lack of faith during this Advent season? As we kind of discussed in last week's midweek devotion of where you see yourself in your faith review, are you struggling with a lack of faith? And if so, that's okay. It doesn't take much faith to get God's attention. Jesus encouraged his frustrated followers in this way with these words from Matthew chapter 17 verse 20. "If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will tell this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing is impossible for you." Most of us try to grow an entire forest in just one day. And Jesus, however, invites us to begin with a tiny seed, just a mustard seed. So I invite you to watch it grow and wait for it to become what you have dreamed for it to be. Because remember, an entire nation walked for centuries without their eternal King in Jesus Christ. Mary wasn't given a full-grown child at birth. She was given a little tiny baby. And the wise men from the east didn't see the Messiah until it appeared at their front door. So waiting is involved in all of these stories, and it is true for us just as it was for them. So, my last question for you today is, are you willing to plant faith and wait upon God? Nothing seems to be appearing on the horizon today like it had in the past, where we are continually struggling in this rut of being stuck in COVID-19, of being stuck in social injustice, of being stuck in 2020. But I invite you to just simply wait during this Advent season, because God always keeps his promises, even for those who have little faith. So just wait. That's what I invite you to do today, and I invite you to do that throughout the entire Advent season and beyond, and continue to go along with your review of your faith and where you are in your relationship with Jesus Christ, because it is okay to be questioning. As you now know, that is part of your faith in God. So have a good one, everybody. We will see you later this week. If you have any fun questions that you'd like to discuss on Friday, please get them to me, and I'd love to have them for our Friday video. But until then, stay safe. Happy holidays to all of those who have holidays coming up, and we'll see you at the end of the week. So see you later, everybody.